and Mayor Ken. Commissioner Diaz. Commissioner Wiley. Trustee Duval. Trustee Gaspardillo. Now, as the presiding officer of this meeting, I do hereby certify that the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act pertaining to this meeting, scheduled to be held on the 5th day of April 2012, have been satisfied by the delivery of the notice in the newspaper circulating in the town of West New York, the Jersey Journal, by posting in the municipal building on the municipal bulletin board, and by filing with the clerk of the municipality. Also by posting on the West New York Board of Education website. At this time, I'd like to have a roll call to open the public hearing. Mayor Roque. Present. Commissioner Frias. Present. Commissioner Wiley. Here. Trustee Duval. Yes. Trustee Gaspardillo. Yes. And I understand that you have a statement, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Board of School Estimates meeting. For those who may not be aware, we are here to approve and comment on the budget that has already been introduced by the Board of Education. The meeting is not to negotiate salary contracts or to comment on personal matters. Today we will only deal with the proposed budget for the 2013-2014 school year. The board has the power to approve the budget or cut back the increase that will come from the taxpayers' money this year. The board voted to raise an additional $290,000 in taxes to pay for instructional classroom material. The budget includes an increase in salary for teachers. As an Abbott district, most of the West New York school budget comes from the state funding. This year, this budget is over $125 million, and the town of West New York is responsible for about 12% of that, or should I say roughly $14.5 million. The state regulates the amount of money the town can collect for the school budget through taxes, and this year, as in the past years, we are collecting the minimum amount. There are two main issues that I'm aware of. Should we approve the $290,000 tax increase? We have two options. We could accept this or we can modify it. By reducing the amount, we can strike a fair balance between the school needs and the taxpayers' needs. An increase would mean that the average taxpayer would increase their taxes per quarter. Going forward, I asked the school board and Superintendent Falta to try to find ways to financially support those on the front line of it all, the teachers. There are people which are entrusted with our children's future. As in the military, I always believe that the backbone in the military is the soldier. And in this case, the backbone for our educational system are those in front of me who are in the red, which are the teachers of this town. And I want to say thank you for your service. Maybe now we can find a way to shift the financial focus on the back office administration and place it where it needs to be, the classroom and after classroom programs, and any program that supports our children. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, as I mentioned earlier, that the meeting was advertised in the Jersey Journal and also on the district website and posted in the city. At this time, I'd like to do a quick PowerPoint presentation. It will be displayed here, so if the members would like to take a seat in the audience for a few minutes, do a quick presentation. First, I'd just like to quickly go over the timelines of the budget. In January, we had administrators prepare the school-based budgets and department budgets. Then on February 26th, we received the governor's address on the status of the state budget and state aid. The governor has 48 hours to release the figures, and on February 28th, the state aid figures that the school district received in New Jersey were issued, and we received our state figures then. On March 6th, the board had to adopt a tentative preliminary budget for submission to the county office for the county office review. And also, since we have focus schools, two focus schools, it was necessary that the RAC team, the regional achievement center teams, also review our budgets for those focus schools. On March 7th, the preliminary budget was submitted to the Executive County Superintendent. On March 20th, we received approval from the Executive County Superintendent and the RAC team. On March 27th, about a week ago, we had the public hearing with the Board of Education. At that time, it was a minor modification of the budget, which I'll speak to in a minute or so. And then on March 28th, we submitted the budget back to the Executive County Superintendent and the RAC team, and they approved the minor modification at the board meeting. And then here we are on April 5th at the Board of School Excellence meeting. Our budget, in summary, the proposed budget is $135,360,927. It's an increase of a little over $3.3 million over this year's budget, the 12-13 budget. The local tax levy, which increased $290,433 at the public hearing that was held by the board last week, has a proposed local tax levy of $14,659,647, which this year was $14,369,214, so the increase of $290,433. Just as a point of reference, the state of New Jersey, when they provide the numbers to the districts, their state aid numbers, they provide what they feel is the local for their share, what each school district should be contributing to its school budget. And the Department of Education feels that the community of West New York should be contributing $32 million. So that's, to get there with a 2% cap is something being possible. Anyway, it would take over 100 years, but that's what they feel is the local fair share. Just a 5-year tax comparison, you can see for in the 9-10 year was $13.6 million, and then the 10-11 went up to $14.3 and stayed stable with that through this year. It is proposed for next year's budget at $14.65,947, which is a 2.82% increase. Just a comparison of this year's budget, where does the West New York Board of Education get its funding? Historically, we receive our funding from three major sources: fund balance, which is our profit, our money that's left over from the previous year, that can roll over to the succeeding year. The local tax levy, which was a major discussion point at today's meeting. Local non-tax revenue, which is, for example, interest income that we receive from investment of our funds, state and federal funds in the operating budget, and local and federal grants and grants and entitlements. In 2009, 10, and 10-11 school year, there were additional revenue. The state received federal stimulus funds, but those are no longer available. So I won't go through the different numbers, but you can just see this year the different percentages that make up the budget. And as you'll see, it's kind of a recurring theme that this district is heavily reliant upon state funds to fund the budget, which in this year, 68.5% of the budget is funded by state funds. In this year's budget is $132.8 million. The proposed budget for the new year, we're utilizing a budgeted fund balance of $4.4 million. So as I said, that's kind of the profit or the money that we had left over from previous years that we can roll over into next year's budget. The local tax levy of 14.6, and miscellaneous income, which is $100,000, for example, investment on interest on investments. The total local share is $14.7 million. These are all the different state aid amounts that we receive from the state. I'm not going to go through each one, as you can see them, different amounts. Just a note, the equalization aid, since that's the largest one, that's stated to fund the difference between the district's adequacy budget and the district's local fair share under state law. So that's where that number comes from, the purpose of that funding. The one thing I will point out, the $16 million of preschool education aid is totally earmarked for the P3, P4 program in the district. Then we also received federal funds, the No Child Left Behind, and also IDEA, which supports our special ed programs. Due to the federal sequestration, I guess. This year we had a budget. In previous years we budgeted 90% of this year's allocation. The next year we're really not sure what the president gave us yet. But because of that sequestration, we only were allowed to budget 75% for IDEA, or 85% for IDEA, and 75% for No Child Left Behind. Because we're not sure in Washington what's going to happen due to that funding. Just a pie chart representation of the budget. You can see that the lion's share comes from the state aid, and the next largest source is the local tax levy, which is 10.9%. This is just a 5-year comparison, so you can see over the 5 years how the overall budget went up from 119 to next year's proposed at $134 million. And then the tax levy, I went over a few minutes ago, the amount of state aid. Again, you can see the different amounts and the changes of the increase and decrease that we received over the last 5 years of state aid in the state. And then the final column is the use of fund balance, or the profit we have in previous years of the roll to roll forward into the budget. And now, how's the budget spent? The proposed budget. The lion's share, 51% of it, goes directly to school-based budgets, which supports the operations directly in the schools, which are teacher salaries and supplies and materials for the schools. The special revenue fund, which are the grants we received, the IDEA and No Child Left Behind, is 14.76%. And I'm not going to go through each one. You can see the different categories there and the percentages that accompany them. And continuation, tuitions for students that are sent out of district or out of district placements. And then we have a few students attending neighboring districts' charter schools. Some different amounts. And then this is just a pie representation, so as you can see, over half the budget goes directly to support the school-based budgets. In next year's budget, the change is, in this year's budget we have 1,094.57 employees, and in next year's budget we're proposing 1,111.57 employees. Most of the increases are for the opening of the St. Joe's High School. There's positions that we feel that we need in order to open that building. And also the others are just special ed positions that are required to keep the class sizes at the capped amounts by law. And then today, I wanted to go a little quickly. The mayor kind of covered this in his opening statement. What is the mission? In the New Jersey statute notated 18A22-14, the Board of School Estimate of a Type 1 school district, which is a Type 1 district, is a district that has the Board of Education appointed by the mayor. Type 2 is an elected board. The district shall fix and determine by official action taken at a public meeting of the board the amount of money necessary to be appropriated for the use of public schools for the ensuing school year pursuant to Section 5 and so on. Exclusive amount which has been apportioned to it by the commissioner. So in essence, what this is saying is that the Board of School Estimates' role is just to deem how much the tax levy is. And it is exclusive of the amount that the state aid that we're receiving will be receiving out from the state regardless. So that's the amount, the purpose of today's meeting. So that concludes the presentation. So if you'd like to return to your seats, and I'll entertain any questions that you may have. Okay, at this point, I'll entertain if there are any questions from any of the members here on the budget or the presentation. I'll be glad to attempt to answer them, or the superintendent or administrators that are here. Don't be shy. Anyone have any questions?
With regards to the difference in employees between 12 and 13, you had mentioned that that difference is to cover the new school that's being repaired.
Well, it's St. Joe's. We'll
St.
be
Joe's.
opening
Correct. Are there any other proposed positions besides St. Joseph?
The only other positions that were included in the budget were for special ed that are required due to the class sizes. In state law, there's certain classes, different types of special ed. They only have so many students in them. And once you have more students, you have to open up a new classroom. And our autism program has been growing, and that's there's teaching staff, and also the code requires so many professionals to be in the classroom.
So those will be the only two components, for special ed,
And also for
St. Joseph.
And for St. Joseph's.
Yeah.
They were the changes.
Commissioner also, just to make you aware, pairs in certain amount of buildings like school 1, school 5, we were granted additional money through grants from the Department of Ed to make the necessary repairs, so it doesn't come out of this budget.
There are two other positions. We were going to, this is a maintenance position. We were looking, instead of using a private contractor, HVAC, to hire someone, it would be cheaper than using an outside contractor. And also in the preschool education lead and ECTA, the early childhood program, an additional secretary that's requested. But that's funded separately by the state, so that's already funded.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, at this time we'll open the floor to public comment. If anyone wishes to address the Board of Selectmen, please take the podium and state the name of the record.
Lois Tarr, President of the West New York Education Association. Mayor, Commissioners, members of the board. At the board meeting, we presented the board with 1,600 letters from parents and taxpayers asking that the budget be raised to what it is currently raised in the proposal we have. What we have for you is another 1,800 letters from those same parents and taxpayers. It's important that the budget be raised every year just because of the normal costs that go into running a school district. But also we have now all kinds of technology equipment that needs to be replaced, and we now in St. Joe's even put in. The new assessment tests that are coming down from the state, all of those things cost extra money. Please approve the budget as it is, because this gives us at least a percentage toward the cap. You saw that the budget, currently the local share of the budget, is supposed to be $32 million. It's only $14 million. We got to start closing that deficit somehow, some way. And with the state cap of 2%, it makes it more difficult each year if that budget is not raised to the full cap. So again, I ask you to support the budget as it was presented to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the Board of Selectmen?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Board of Trustees, Commissioner, Superintendent Fowler, Cedar Sabino, 6057 Palisade Avenue. Pretty much, I just want to voice my opinion. I'm pretty sure there has been a pre-program of how the board is going to go about this. But basically, what I want to say is, especially to Mayor Roque, I hope you guys really give a very thorough thought about this. I understand you're in a tough position, because raising the budget, those 290,000, is going to raise, the residents' taxes. And, last thing you want to do, as a politician, is raise taxes, and especially Mayor, you're in under a campaign that you're going to lower taxes, and even raising the taxes 0.00001%, it's a failure. And as a military man, okay, you never want to fail. Okay, your objective is always to win. Okay, as many battles as you can. And one of the things is that I'm pretty sure you don't want to do that. But also, there's a lot of things at stake here, and being a resident here and a strong advocate for education, and the only thing that I have is education. Coming from a family where both of my parents were educators, okay, and all they did is educate children, okay, and coming from Western, one of the things that that I always live for is for education, and I understand where you stand at, and it's a tough position. Trust me, I know. Okay, and I'm pretty sure you already have your decision made. Okay, but I still want to voice my opinion. And raising the budget, okay, it's not only going to benefit education, it's going to benefit the whole town. And maybe perhaps send a letter out explaining to the resident, because I'm a property owner too. And the work, one of the things is I don't want to have to pay higher taxes than I already have now. And I like I said, I really understand where you stand for, and where you stand at, and it's a tough position. I just want you to really think about it, because again, education is the key to success, and raising the budget is going to better the education in Western, which we really have a very good education program here, education system, great teachers, and again, like I said, coming from Western and living here all my life, and one thing I could always thank is education and having great teachers. What you're doing now, okay, every decision that you make, it's going to go down in history, and perhaps this is a very important point, maybe perhaps of your life, because right now you're in the spotlight. So let's think about this, whatever decision you made coming into this meeting, let's think about this, because this is going to benefit, this is going to, have a mark in your life and your history as not only as a politician, as a person. And I'm pretty sure you have a self-conscious, okay, of yourself and of the town. Being the mayor, you're the man in charge. So let's make the right decision, and again, it's not about, making a popular decision, it's about doing the right thing. And, I ask not just the mayor or everyone here, in the board, okay, let's do the right thing, okay, and we're doing this is for the children, this is for the town, okay, it might raise the taxes, a bit more, okay, but it's the right decision, because we're making it for education, and again, I would live and die for education, because right now, I'm where I'm at, is because of education, okay, because, I went to get my degree, and, I came from a town that actually educated me, and that's what I stand for. So basically, I just want to voice my opinion, even though I'm guessing you probably have a pre-program or how you're going to go about this meeting, but, I just feel, I just have to let you know where I stand. Thank you.
Listen, your concern is my concern. When you guys voted me in to be the mayor, you voted me so I had to make those tough decisions. Being in the military 36 years, I have made life and death decisions. But as a leader, and you have Mr. Salvega here, sometimes the prior mayor, it's not easy to make this kind of decision. I have my brain firing all those neurons, and the acetylcholine receptors are acting on the synapses right now. But guess what? We will do what's right for the community, and I thank you for that question.
And I know you will.
Michelle Lopez, 430 55th Street. I am a proud teacher here in West New York. I came here when I was 9 years old, and I have never left West New York. I went to Memorial High School, and that made me very special as well. As some of you know, you have children who Rogan, at least do the only positive things for our town. Thanks.
And I asked what you mean when you said do the only positive thing. Can you clarify? I guess not. Okay, next.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne Cook, 6131 Jackson Street. As you know, I went through the school system. My kids went through the school system, and I have the honor to have my grandkids now in the school system. And not too many people could say that in town of Westfield, 3 generations. So I stand here, you should do the right thing, not only for my grandkids, but the great people that teach my grandkids. And some people that taught me, and some people that taught my kids. Here, it comes down to, Mayor, you're right, you're the leader. Now, the people elected you, not me, I didn't vote for you. Okay? Just to make it very clear. But you are in the leadership role now, do the right thing for the kids of West New York. Thank you.
Frank Ferrero, 23 Henry Street, Sayreville, New Jersey, 30-year resident of West New York.
Sayreville?
Yeah, Sayreville.
Okay.
But I lived in West New York way more than you.
Sayreville.
I'm in West New York way more than you.
Sayreville. Okay.
So let's stop there.
Okay.
I think I'll assume what she meant by the only right thing that you have done this, because you have not done anything else
Are
right.
you good? Can I ask you, what are you good for?
This is a telltale sign you're stuck between a rock and a hard place now. Either grow taxes or please the teachers. And that's a telltale sign of a failing administration. You have failed, Mr. Military Man. Why don't you resign and let somebody do a better job for this town? Because you need to resign. You sit up here, you laugh at people, you mock people.
Sir,
You need to resign, sir.
Thank you. Now Sayreville. Have a good day. Go back to Sayreville. Thank you. Okay, bye. I'll let the door catch you.
Good afternoon. Janice Lockton, Missouri Chenwood, graduate from #1 school, graduate from Memorial High School. My brother graduated in 1949. You have to do the...
We need the address for this
Excuse me?
Ma'am, we need the address.
I'm going to address it. I'm going to ask the mayor to do the correct thing.
No, ma'am. No, I'm just saying we need your name and address for the record, that's all.
What do you need? My
Your
name?
and address. We get the name, but now we need the address now. The record.
1407 43rd Street, North Bergen, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Bergen.
You're
Bergen? Okay.
Yes, which is in Hudson County, which is, okay. Mayor, I don't understand why you talk about people out of town when you just appoint people from out of town and you hire people from out of town. Now, please let me speak, okay? You have to do what's right for the teachers and for the children. You spend $371 per student a year. The town? Come on, $371 in a year? What does that buy? That doesn't even buy a book. Okay? You have to raise it. You're going to raise taxes anyway because of your screw up down on the riverfront. So why not just add this in? Because the people would much rather pay for the children than pay for your mistakes. Do the right thing. Please pass this budget. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I have a question for you. How much does North Bergen spend per child?
Excuse me?
North Bergen, how much do they spend? What's their budget for North Bergen right now?
I am here for West New York right now.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
What is your, okay, you tell me.
Have a good day.
No, what do you spend on the children?
Okay.
Because I'll come back at the next meeting and I'll tell you what they spend.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here for West New York. Are you? Are you, ma'am? Come on, are you? Because you're not proving that you are. And if you want to get smart, $60,000 to a 20-year-old girl for who is your son's girlfriend for the Parks Department. Let the teachers know this. $60,000 on a 20-year-old to run the park.
Ma'am, this is not for school lesson.
I know it
Thank
is.
you.
Make sure he does the right thing, and I hope you guys have the nerve to stand up to him, because these teachers are the best, and they agree with that.
Thank you.
I'm asking you to please pass the budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Seeing no one else to address the board, I'll have a roll call to close the public hearing. Mayor Roque, Commissioner Frias,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Trustee Duval,
Yes.
Trustee Gassidou.
Yes.
At this time, I guess if any of the members would, we have a proposal to raise $14,659,647 in the budget with the committee to discuss application of that, or move forward with that, or is there a role?
We wanted to discuss modesty.
Yes.
It has to be another conversation on a citizen.
Can you speak up, please?
Right now, they're talking about $290,000, which I would say is modified to half of that, and probably more than half of it will go along.
Exactly 200,000?
I would say about 200,000.
Even 200,000?
Even 200, correct.
Two members?
The board's talking about reducing the additional appropriation, reducing it from 290 to 200,000. That's the discussion at the moment.
You know, that would be a minimal cut,
Correct.
all right? But a minimal cut that would have long-lasting effect on the teachers. I think that the right thing to do is do what the board did. If you may, and I don't know if I have the right to speak.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. By making that cut, the difference on the tax rate would be pennies.
Absolutely.
And even though every penny counts, it would destroy the faith that this body of teachers and employees of the Board of Education have after the promise made at the last meeting where the board members voted to increase the budget. I think we can work to find the cuts within the town. The town has a $7 million surplus, which is healthy for situations like this, emergencies that can take place during the year. But I think this full amount is not in excess. When you look at the recommendation of the state, that you can actually go from 14 million to 32 million, and no one wants that because that would be an enormous tax increase. But to change this budget would ruin the faith of these teachers, employees, and this is the time that I think not only the Board of Education, but the members of the governing body, starting with the mayor, can restore that faith for our teachers and our school district. Thank you.
Before Commissioner Wiley comments, Mayor, do you remember deja vu 3 years ago when you raised taxes to West New York?
Yes.
It hurt us a lot. 51% made the difference between you being there and me being here. Big difference. So at the end of the day,
And I appreciate it.
okay, but what I'm saying, I'm correct. You correct with what you're saying. But to me, every penny counts. And if we could work to reduce the tax, ma'am, if you speak one more time out of this, I'm going to have you escort you out of here. Thank you. Let's be professional. Thank you.
Ma'am, please, you can't address the board. You had public comment. You may be upset, you may be unhappy, but the public's comment's over. It's the board's time to discuss. And thereafter, at the next meeting, feel free to come for the board meeting, but now's this time for the board to discuss what they're going to do.
Thank you. Anyway, to get back before I was interrupted, every penny counts as far as raising taxes. My goal is to balance. It's a very difficult balancing act. And when Mr. Savino was saying making a decision, it's not easy. You know, you got to see what the taxpayers, how much taxes we got to raise. And you know we already raised 2.4% of their taxes. which my promise was not to raise taxes, but things are tough right now, not only for the teachers, but for people here at West New York. So that's why I figured let's try to balance it out to 200 instead of 290. It gives us a little room to work for both sides. A compromise, I call it. But that was a good comment, though. Thank you.
Okay, my comment. I have children that are going to school probably next year. I have a young son. Number one, I was here at the last meeting, and I showed my support to the teachers from the very start. Not because of political reasons, but remember our education is everything here in West New York. And we see the battles the two mayors have back and forth, etc. That is politics that jumps into this game. And when you run an administration, you know, some of the ladies are right up there, the comments that they make in the sense that, you know, with the way the town is run, and as a mayor, you're supposed to pay attention to that because if it was run probably a little properly, we'd have that space to get this raise in the tax. And it wouldn't be so harming to the taxpayers of West New York. I support this 100%, the full amount, the $290,000, because I will vote yes for it. As we said, the lady that said here in the front was, there is a cap, okay? And I understand that as far as working with that cap, because again, it may not be enough money for you, what you actually need to finish the year out or whatever, but we do need to take advantage of that. And when it comes to the children, I do not have a problem. I always put myself out front for the children all the time. Education cannot be shortchanged, should I say. In a town, you can always strap down, get rid of a couple employees, you know, deal with a smaller staff, should I say, in other departments. But that hasn't happened here in this administration. And that's something that you have to think about, Mayor, next time, if you're here, as far as what to plan for in the years to come with the teachers themselves in our kids' education. That's all I have to say.
Hello to everybody. I have two kids in PS2. I support the full amount of the raise because I think it's very interesting. Many of you know that I'm the president of the PTO for what? Because all the thing that I want to do is raise money for the material for the kids. I very know that kids don't have blue paper, and that's not fair. And I know the teachers, PS2, and all the schools have great teachers, so I support the full amount of the raise.
In the last meeting, we told that the 2% was approved because we had the money, right? So after that, we have another issue to raise the taxes because the material for the kids. And I think it's a shame in this town to the kids have to bring toilet paper, napkins, everything from the house when we have a whole bunch of supervisors making a lot of money. Why we don't cut that, okay? And then we have the money there. The other way to have the money, we have a lot of vice principal. Why we don't call it, like I said the last meeting, as a disciplinarian. This is the money there. We are able to find the money there, and this way we don't raise the taxes because we have the money in the budget. Okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you guys doing in the city. I mean, the board education that we don't need it. Okay?
I just want to advise the board members that the day-to-day operation of the school district is not the responsibility of the mayor. It is not the responsibility of the board. The day-to-day operation of the school district is the superintendent of schools. And I want to make that clear. We have a very successful school district.
Let's work together then. What are the supervisors you have here?
Just say that. Why
they make too much money. Let's not allow that way.
I have the floor. Do not interrupt me. I have the floor. Do not interrupt me. I gave you a chance to speak. I want to make it clear that the day-to-day operation of the school district is the sole role of the superintendent of schools. Yes, we'll work together, but make that clear. Don't chastise me or these
faculty of teachers that are here.
I don't
Because
do
no
that.
one works
No,
harder
I
for the
don't do
teachers
that.
than I do. No one.
So many ways you can find that money.
Thank you for your comments.
No worries, then.
We can't hear.
I'm sorry, folks. I was just advising the chair pro tem that we need to, if the board would like to, or board members would like to amend the proposed budget from the Board of Education, that the Board of School someone has to make a motion, it has to be seconded if they're going to amend it.
Well, why can't the budget in front of them be voted on?
Exactly.
And if it's defeated, it can be amended. This budget was sent by the Board of Education with a 6-0 vote. And if it's going to be amended, it should be voted on first. We should know who's against that budget, and then they can make a motion to amend it.
Let's make a motion not to amend.
No, not to amend.
Vote.
I motion.
So we have a motion on the floor to accept the budget as is, with the tax levy, general fund tax levy to be $14,659,647. May I have a motion?
Motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
That's what we're voting on, so everyone understands. Okay, Mayor okay? No. Commissioner Frias?
No.
No.
Trustee Cassidy?
Yes.
So now we need a motion to amend.
Have a motion to amend the budget.
Down from $14,659,647 to the tax levy to be $90,433 less, which would result in a tax levy of $14,569,214.
And we're only talking $90,000.
That's
We're
right.
gonna put remember this. We have to compromise on both sides.
Hey, stop playing politics. This is to make you look good, man. College Road, take care of the kids of West New York. Do the right thing for once. It's 90,000.
Nobody here has kids in West New York. But me, the woman, I have 2 kids here. Nobody here.
90,000. You gave 60,000 to a 21-year-old. 90,000. Why don't you get rid of the 21-year-old?
I didn't want to answer you, but your children go to North Bergen School, so
No,
thank
they
you.
don't.
Excuse me, I thought we have all professionals here. Why you guys don't get up in the microphone? Use your education. Not like that.
It's closed. It's closed.
She asked me.
No.
Don't stand there, girl, every penny counts when you start treating my kids.
Exactly.
How dare you? How dare you say every penny counts? For you it counts, but for my kids it doesn't count, right? Eres un descarado.
What the fuck?
Please, get rid of some of the employees you
And
fired.
in
Please.
fairness,
You take the $10,000 raise back from Silvio Acosta, the deputy mayor. Take that back. That's $70,000.
Girlfriend, his son's girlfriends as well. Frias, what an embarrassment.
You stood up on the waterfront, and now we're not getting paid taxes, and the school doesn't get paid.
There's no public session.
No, I
There's
do
no
not go
public
for the
session.
amendment. No.
You're screwing the
Counsel.
children, and you're gonna be out of here.
Council, a point of order. May I?
Now, we don't.
We're voting on the reduced.
No, but if you're gonna now amend the budget and not allow the public to speak on that new budget, I think that's incorrect, and it's a violation of Public Meeting Act.
Guys, I don't know what they're doing.
If the budget is gonna be amended, the public has the right to speak on the new budget.
No sabe lo que hace. What an embarrassment. Let's see what's going to happen to you in May.
Okay, at this point, we'll open the floor for public comment.
No, they open
I would like to know from the Board of Education members, Duval, why you voted yes at the Board of Ed meeting and no.
Because we was told the 2% of the teacher was approved, right? That before everything happened. And then we was told in the closed session that they're going to raise 2% only for the kids' material for the books. Okay? I agree with that. But now I've been thinking that it's too many ways to get all those money that we need for instead of raising the tax. Maybe you guys don't live in West New York, you don't have houses, maybe, because maybe that's why you don't worry about the government the taxes. Right? So we have a balance, we have to work it out. Where? Reducing the supervising, calling all the spend they have in West New York in the schools. That's the way you
That's not what this is about.
Anyway, you're going to retire it. That money that we paying you now, we're going to save it for the teachers. That is good news.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you just said.
She doesn't know what she's talking.
Because I don't understand why, when the budget was clearly, the money was clearly put into the budget for materials for students. That's what the $290,000 was put in for.
Yes.
It wasn't put in for anything else.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So that's what you should be voting on, not anything else. So I don't understand, maybe you don't understand what the vote is all about.
I do understand. That's why I'm here.
I'm going to urge you again to defeat this motion and go back to the original motion and give us the $290,000. What's the population of the town, Mayor?
Right now it's 49,716.
289?
No, 49,000.
49,000.
716.
49,000. That's less than $2 for every person in the town.
Absolutely, ma'am, but again, as Mayor Vega knows, prior Mayor Vega, every bit counts. When you have to raise people's taxes, people are not happy about it. I respect you. At least you got 200 out of 290, and it's not even half. You got more than half.
I appreciate the raise, Mayor, but I really think you need to look at what I said before. The fair share portion is supposed to be $32 million. This district pays $14 million, which is less than half.
I understand.
Every year you don't put that money to cap in, we go backwards instead of forward.
I'm going to say to you that I agree with what you're saying. We have to start thinking in the future that the state is not going to give us more aid, and the town's going to have to sacrifice more. When I say sacrifice, it's the same thing that Mrs. Duval was saying. We have to start thinking about cutting costs and saving money for the taxpayers and helping the children at the same time. It's going to be tough.
Well, I think it's a very poor decision.
And we talked about sequestering. The doctor just took a 2% cut. Come July, it's going to be another cut in Medicare. Things are getting tough in this country, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like it used to be. So now we have to be cost conscious in the future.
You don't have to tell us because we're already paying 2% more of our salaries toward our medical benefits. And we understand that. We understand where the money is coming from.
And I'm going to say, like I said
don't
before,
take the money from the kids.
What I said before, you guys are the backbone. But we just have to start making compromises and start working together. And right now, my opinion is we have to work together. That's it. And thank you.
Thank you.
You're not going to be here.
Maybe not. You're not here anymore.
You're not going to be here.
Thank you.
Please, no shouting from the audience. If public comment, come to the microphone. Otherwise, and talk about board school lessons as well. Thank you.
I think we're really splitting things in a way that are not significant. Maybe a point needs to be made that the budget that was presented was actually cut. But the 90,000 is not going to make a difference in the scope of the entire school budget, municipal budget. I had a much bigger challenge, and at the end, I had to plug the hole. It was devastating.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree with you. That was devastating.
Yes.
But your challenge is very simple. This is about to keep the faith of our students, their parents, their teachers, in our administration to send a message, like in the conversation we had at the commissioners' meeting when I brought to your attention the problem that the board was having. And you agreed with me that you were going to defend what was best for the students and the teachers. We're not talking about $9 million. We're talking about $90,000. Look, it's been a very difficult 2 years for your administration.
Yes.
All mayors have difficulties. But the one thing that is not broken yet is the Board of Education. It's taken a lot of hits, a lot of dents, but it's not broken. I think when it comes to trust, and I know because I was a teacher for 30 years, if you lose the trust of the people who are responsible for teaching our children, then it will never be repaired. It will be permanent damage. If we were talking about the entire $2,090,000, I can see the argument. If we were talking about $5 million, I can see the argument. But we're gone so far to find that little money that to take out $90,000 of the budget, okay, will do harm to the trust of your teachers. And we don't want that. We want a productive school system and teachers who feel they have a future here in West New York. And that's what we're talking about. With all the respect that you as the mayor deserves, with all the respect that the commissioners deserve, with all the respect that the board members deserve, because you work very hard. But you got to give the tools to the superintendent of schools to make this district function. And the harm, not because of the size of the money, but the message that $90,000 is sending is going to be very difficult to overcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a comment. Like you said, Mayor, you said that it's going to get tougher as the time goes on. And this, again, is a cap that they cannot get back. This will be $90,000 they can't recoup next year with the next cap. Okay, so again, like if what you say is true, you're telling me that it is going to get tougher as time goes on. $90,000, you blow that in a contract, an engineering contract in one day. So my point is, but this again is for the children. And they will not be able to recoup this money. To even put that on the table, to amend that, to lower that $90,000 was ridiculous. And there was no reason to do that. Thank you. And you're the mayor, and you should be supporting these children in West New York. So again, I remind you, they cannot get that $90,000 back next year. And we want to give them every advantage they can possibly have to educate our kids.
Mayor, $90,000. Excuse me?
Your name again, ma'am.
Janice Lockman George, 1407 43rd Street, North Bergen. Concerned Hudson County citizen. I'm sorry that I'm out of town, but seriously, $90,000. You know what's going on in the world. What are our children going to look forward to? What job opportunities are they going to have if teachers don't have the tools to teach them with? Okay, the taxes are going up regardless. They're going up 4%. You keep saying 2 point something. It is 4%. And it's because of a lawsuit that we have down on the riverfront with abatements. Now, with the abatements, they don't give in to the school. So you have to stop giving abatements, number one, because we need money in the school. 95% of the money goes to you, 5% goes to the county. Nothing goes to the teachers, nothing goes to the school. So we have to make up for that, don't we? $90,000 is not a lot of money. Not when you're talking about the children of the county and the town.
Thank you, sir.
And the teachers. So are you going to amend it back to what they promised? I mean, that's another thing. No offense, but you did. You voted. And now you sit up here and you look at us and you look at the teachers like they're doing something wrong. All they want to do is educate children, and they want the tools to do it. That's all they want. They give 100% of their time and their life. I see teachers going out when the children, I mean, you know what the economy is like. The parents are giving, I mean, the teachers are taking money out of their pockets so that children don't do without lunches, without books, so that they can keep up with the other children. And did they get repaid for that? Does anybody say thank you? Come on, seriously, you know that. When I was at school, you used to give us a notebook, you used to give us crayons, you gave us pencils and a ruler. Now it's got to go to the parents who don't have jobs. The unemployment rate right now in West New York is 11.6. 11.6. Come on, you're the mayor. You need to hire people from the town, in the town, get our unemployment down. That would bring in money. But right now, you have to do the right thing, and that's give up the $90,000 for the teachers.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else?
Do you know where you can get it from? Or would like to suggest where you can get it?
Okay. That's not what this is.
Oh, you don't
That's
want
not
it?
what- This is not what this is
I'm
for.
sure Mr. Wilder would
Yeah.
have a good idea.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Zoe Maria, 63 Jefferson Street. I was always taught to respect my authority, and I definitely respect all of you that are up there. I do, as the position. But all I just want to say, I mean, I know it's 90,000, and I know, you know, in terms of like Mr. Vega said, it's a few dollars for the parents. But in the end, I think it's worth those few dollars because when I send home at summer, I send a letter, welcome to my classroom, I teach 6th grade in number 3 school. That list of supplies is getting longer and longer. Not because I want to do that to parents, because my parents are poor and they grew up in this town. We grew up here, my parents owned a house here. All 6 of us went to college and graduated. So my parents did a great job on not even knowing English, except for words. But they knew those. And they're a success story from West New York. And I'm proud that they're my parents, and now I'm proud to be, you know, a West New York teacher. That's what I live for. But it's unfortunate I don't have that money. And I know right now all their supplies have ran out. I'm talking now I'm buying glue sticks, I'm buying notebooks, because it's March, so no one has anything anymore, you know? And I'm spending a lot of money, and I have a lot of money. We just recently found out my son may possibly be autistic, and that's gonna cost us a lot of money, which is okay.
Sorry.
We can do it, no, but it's okay, and I'm proud to be his mom. That's never, but I know if he's gonna go to school in West New York, we need these things, you know, we need your help. It's what I'm saying, I know it's 90,000, and I know we can say and minimize the money, but in reality, if it raises someone's taxes $3, $4, $5, it's better than the $60 supply list they're going to get for September that they're going to have to go to Staples and buy because we can't give them any more money. And yes, there are things we can cut down on, but not just the school. Guys, people, you know when they look for houses, they look for the education system. That's what they look based on. And we have a strong one, and I'm proud of our education system. So we want to keep this up to the most top we can. So let's look maybe in other places in the town where we can cut budgets. But don't cut our budget. We're already hanging on for dear life. My daughter's right here, sitting here, and I'm just thinking of her future here in West New York, and I'm scared for her. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's 90,000, but there's so many places we can cut in West New York. I know there is. I live in this town. I grew up in this town. This is my, you know, I want to be mayor of this town. I get it. I understand your position. But don't cut education. If you want West New York residents to come here, we need to show them our education system. And when they get a $60 supply list, you know, why isn't that the people in the water are not coming up to our education? Yeah, we have a few of them, but why aren't they all coming up? What's their feeling? Why isn't our education system good enough? Why are they sending them out to private schools? Why can't we show them that we're better than those private schools and charter schools? I believe we are. Please don't cut our budget. There's so many places you can cut. Not us. Not us.
Any other comments? Okay, closing statement.
I would like to make a motion to recommend to have the levy increased again to 290.
We got one more, yes, ma'am.
Give the mayor one more chance before we leave.
Joni Rubberman Hess, 217B 3rd Street, Fairview, New Jersey. I teach at Mayor Board. I teach at Memorial High School. And I just have a question, Mayor. You talk about the voters and not increasing the tax rate on them. What about the letters that Ms. Parr presented to the board? They're voters.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep that in mind,
Thank you
please.
so much, ma'am. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions? I'm going to close the session.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to re-amend,
We're gonna take a
increase
vote.
to $90,000.
Mr. Wilder, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Maybe Mayor, change your mind this time. $90,000, nothing.
Motion to close the meeting. Mayor Roquet?
Yes.
You don't want to vote again? You don't got one more time in you to vote? I want to re-amend the amendment. I want to wait till again. Let's have one more vote.
No.
One more for the people. This is what the town meetings are like, guys. This is exactly. You have the right to change this. Next week starts the recall, and don't forget it. Okay, recall vote.
And that's what we call you.
You don't have to put up with this any longer, remember that.
Commissioner Wiley, your vote, please.
To close the session?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Duval?
Yes.
Trustee Gassione?
Voting motion on the floor to close the meeting, and a second. With the
Thank you so much,
motion
ladies and
and a second.
gentlemen.
So what's the vote on the budget? What's the vote on the budget? You didn't vote on the budget. You didn't vote on the budget.
No, you didn't. No, you voted.
There was no vote on the budget.
You voted on the budget.
The first motion was that got defeated was the
Regular budget.
Regular budget. You all saw it in the public and they never.
Yeah, the amended budget is not voted on. The amended budget is not voted on. This is unbelievable.
It was 3-2 based upon the
Take him out, take him out.
So what is it?
Take him out.
He has no respect for teachers. No respect for teachers.
That was a secret vote. You voted on the regular budget. There was no vote on the amended budget. There was no and it's being recorded, and we have it on video. So there's no vote on the amended budget. No way. No
Oh my God.
There was no vote on the amended budget.
Don't put me on the camera. Are you filming? Yeah, let me stop it. Let me stop.